Welcome to the first episode of What That. I'm your host Keenan Y. Today we'll be talking about Inshore fishing lures. Now from now on I'll be posting every Wednesday for What's That. It's a new series that I thought of last night in bed and I just decided, hell, why not? So today we'll be talking about Inshore fishing lures and let's get right to it. Now, of course, it always helps if you guys do subscribe and if you're watching this, because 85% of people don't subscribe, and it really does help when you do subscribe. And of course you should never feel obligated to subscribe because hey, that's your life. I have no say in it, but it always does help greatly to help me reach 1,000 subscribers so I can make more quality videos for you guys. And yeah, onto the video. Now the first thing I want to talk about is the kind of lures that you usually see in Hawaii. Bucktails, jerkbaits, Mark Whites, strip baits, and of course the old faithful curly tails. Now all these methods and lures are through personal experience and personal opinions. Now a lot of people, they do have their own ways of fishing, and of course you should never judge a person on how they fish, because that is very important, because sometimes it is whack and hey, catches fish, you know. So before you judge and before you use any methods, just try it for yourself. Now let's talk about jerkbaits. Jerkbaits are one of the most I think best inventions to ever walk the earth. Like, this is a El Cheapo jerkbait. You can tell by the quality of the hooks, very thin, and the swivels are very small as well. But I did catch a moya on this style of jerkbait, and you most commonly use it when it's a very like a 8 feet water depth. You don't want to go throwing this diver when it's shallow, so I'd say to only use jerkbaits when it's a little bit deeper of an area, and all you really do is you can wind it in slowly, wind it in fast. You can do a little bit tweaks and jerks in there, and it does catch fish. It's proven. Now bucktails. Bucktails are basically same thing. You dart this in the water, you fast jig it, and this thing would get streamlined because the water would go into the strings and keep it straight like that. So you just jig it away. You tie either a uni knot or a Rapala knot onto the eye, and yeah, that's basically all you do. Some people do like to put like a soft plastic on here, but I think it's kind of whack, so I don't do it. The third lure I want to talk about is Mark Whites. So Mark Whites are like a popper design. They have a lip here with a through wire construction. It's ceramic, so I think it's tough as a rock, and it has this nice big like eyeball. I like it. And it has this treble hook with a split ring with a skirt. Now a lot of the times guys use this, and I heard that this is one of the most popular lures out there. Unfortunately I did not catch anything with this yet, but I will, and it is going to be good, I think. So yeah, what we'll talk about is curly tails. This is the obake color. You can buy these basically anywhere, so you can go to Walmart, Down Quixote, POP, but it's always good to support local companies like POP, J&E, and Roy's or Hanapaa. Now these are most commonly seen in colors of firecracker, black, and obake. So, or of course motor oil. Motor oil is good, but I don't have that on hand. So these are the most commonly used lures in Hawaii. So this is how you rig a curly tail. It is a 2/0 bait hook. You can tell by the crooked shank that it has, and it has these little barbs over here that hold on to the bait. And you want to rig it so this part, this little curve area, is facing up. Now, if you were to rig it upside down, it's not gonna swim in the water too well, and you won't have a very good hookup ratio. You'd most commonly see these lures in harbors, reefs, and beaches. Unfortunately, it is soft plastic, so it does not biodegrade. And please just clean up after yourselves. If you see this, just pick it up, because it's plastic. Like any plastics, it does hurt the reef and it does hurt the animals. And if you eat the fish and the fish has this, now of course you can't do anything if you lose it to a fish, because hey, it happens. But if you can, and if you have the opportunity to clean up after yourselves and clean up trash that you find, make sure you do it. So please leave the area you fished cleaner than when you got there. These strip baits. This is again the obake color, and you rig it kind of a funky way, to be honest. Like, it looks like a fluke. Like, I know a lot of mainland guys call this style like a fluke, I think. But you rig it from this side and you go sideways. Same thing, it's a 4/0 hook this time. Same shank, same barbs. It's a bait hook. You guys can get this in any fishing store you go to. And it's most commonly seen. Again, it's soft plastic, so make sure you clean up after yourselves, and make sure that you try not to just trash it and throw it away in the water. And just, yeah, I keep going on about it, but it's very important. Now, one of the most underrated, in my opinion, lures to use are Berkeley power baits, especially the Pearl White. The Pearl White are a killer color, sorry. So you use a jig head, 1/16 ounce or 1/4 ounce jig head, and what I like to do is I like to clip off the head and then put the jig head on top. Or you can do the same method as the curly tail. Get your 2/0 shank hook, 2/0 bait hook, sorry, and just rig it with the eyeball and the head still on. Now, I like to use 17-pound tests, mostly because it is a sweet spot between light and heavy, and you want to make sure that if you do use 17-pound test or any pound test, you want to make sure that it is fluorocarbon, so it is invisible in the water. I mean, you can use mono if you want, but you just got to think of it as, if you can see it in the water, the fish can see it in the water. So just think of it like that, bud. So all these lures can basically be used everywhere, but when it comes to heavier lures like the Mark Whites, the Bucktails, you guys want to make sure that you usually throw it at like jetties, because it's a deeper area, because boats have to drive by and you don't really have to worry about getting it tangled. So I'd say to probably use these in a deeper water column, and of course use this in the deeper water as well. But when it comes to curly tail strip baits, you can use it at shallow reefs, whipping on shore, and as long as you whip it fast and retrieve it fast, then you should be good. You wouldn't be snagged anywhere. As long as you don't let it drop and get snagged on the reef, then you should be fine. Now, of course, thank you for watching this What Dat episode, the very first episode. Until next time, guys, shooties!